Hi, I'm Phil Palucha from Billionaires in Boxers, and you are about to engage with Up-Level Your Communication, hosted by Maluna. Wow, this is going to be powerful. Communication is at the heart of everything that is good about business and about sharing with your fellow humans, and Maluna is phenomenal at helping you share that message and also interview some pretty special and amazing guests too. Check it out right now.
Welcome to Up-Level Your Communication. I'm your host, Dr. Miluna Bausch. On this show, I will be interviewing some of the most interesting business people in the world. We'll focus on up-leveling your communication and leadership skills so that your voice can be heard and you can make an impact in the world. Hello, hello. From stage to sustainability, embracing change one glove at a time. Now, folks, this is not just any glove. Our guest is going to take us to glove school. And here's what she says. Coming from a performance arts background, easy for me to say, performance arts background, and ultimately going down this entrepreneurial path, my approach to business and problem solving has been unique. For people who may not ever have considered starting a business, I hope to be an example that it is possible no matter where one is starting from. She's live. She's in New York City. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your business in 2 to 3 sentences. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maluna. My name is Fikile Mthwalo. I'm from a little-known landlocked nation called Lesotho, entirely landlocked by South Africa. And I'm the founder of Glubbs, biodegradable, disposable examination gloves. So most gloves will take about 200 plus years to break down in a landfill, and they're also toxic, some variants. And our gloves are free of forever chemicals, medical grade, and will take 3 to 5 years to break down.
This is excellent news. For all of us on this planet, we're pretty crowded, and it's so important. So important. First, I want to ask you, how did you transition from being an actress, I usually say actor, a person who acts, to entrepreneurship? Because you were a very successful actor in South Africa and then came for further training in New York City, very successful here.
So I think the word transition might be misleading because it implies that I've left that life behind. I think it's an expansion. And how I did it was honestly respond to something that was a problem for me personally during a time where I could not act. I couldn't do what I came to the United States to do. And so I expanded myself, my abilities, and made myself find a different way to bring value to the world. And like I said, it was my own pain point, and I decided to jump right in.
And do something about it.
Exactly.
I love it. I love that you said that. Very different words. You expanded. You did not transition. Nothing is stopped in the acting world. Now, did you have a business background?
So I've thought about this question a lot because initially I was just like, what am I doing? Who do I think I am? All these questions, all these inferiority complex generated questions, right? But the truth is I had tried to start a sandwich business when I was, I think, 9-10 years old with my best friend. And we sold sandwiches to my best friend's mom's office for 2 days before we ran out of ham and cheese. And then in high school, I had a little tuck shop. So you know how you all have spring break here? Well, at home, in South Africa, which is ultimately where I did my high schooling, we have matric vac, which is short for matric vacation. And my dad was not going to give me the money to go party it up on the beach for 7 days. So I had to make a plan. So I opened up a little tuck shop. I had a little fridge in my hostel bedroom, which I put little ice creams in. And then I had little sweets, candies that I would sell over the weekend when the school tuck shop, I guess you guys maybe call it a consignment store or kiosk, same idea. But when that was closed, I was open. And so I saved up 500 Rand, which is maybe less than $10, which is wild to think about. And I got myself on matric vac. So that was the second thing I remember doing. I had ideas all throughout the years, but never really implemented them. Not to mention all my family members. I think when you come from a country like Lesotho, education levels tend to be very low. So professional opportunities also tend to reflect that. And the way people survive is to be creative. And what is business other than creating something out of an idea, out of nothing? So all my aunts, my mom, my dad, my grandparents had that bone. But I mean, most notably, my maternal and paternal grandfathers. My paternal grandfather had a big butchery and a tavern and a brick-making company. And then my mom's dad had a Chevron gas station, which is very ironic because I'm sitting on Lexington Avenue. And my grandfather, he passed a month or two ago. He told me that he had come with Chevron and he was staying at the Lexington Hotel. And this was in the 1970s. And I had no idea until last year. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, yes, you have a business background. Yes, your whole family is entrepreneurial. And I love that. Here you now are on Lexington Avenue. That is gorgeous. I say things are always divinely orchestrated. There's no coinky-dink, I call it. There is none in my belief system. Now, most people, I find, don't act on ideas they have.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always had this self-trust, I will call it, and the courage to follow your creative prompts?
Yes, I have. And I will say, I know I have because I got into a lot of trouble as a little girl, as a teenager, maybe even as an adult, following those creative impulses and not allowing myself to be held back. I'm not going to say all those avenues or ideas were successful or even that they were good. But I know that there's always been this compulsion to do my own thing. And that has confused even me sometimes.
Yes, I understand that. Love it. How did you make the product, in this case, the gloves, the very, very special gloves, real so that you could bring them to life and produce this actual incredible product on planet Earth?
Yeah, so I think from going to idea to something tangible, tangibility is actually really easy to get to. It is as easy as putting pen to paper. There, it's now physical. And that is literally where I started. I started with a sketch. And I had no idea how I was going to get this product made. I knew that I would be passionate about it and I'd have a lot of fun, which means I would probably stick to it. But in terms of making it happen, I started with a sketch that I colored in. I have color pencils and designed my first packaging for the glove boxes. Initially, they were going to be this compact product that people could carry their eco-friendly gloves around during the pandemic and not feel like they had to touch things that they didn't want to touch. And so that's how it started. But making it happen is a series of decisions. The first one obviously being, I'm going to do this, which is the biggest of all. and then you do what is within your capacity and awareness and knowledge to do. I might not have had the degree in, chemical engineering or product design, but I had the knowledge that there's manufacturers out there that I could reach to. I can write emails pretty well. And there's also a thing called Fiverr if you want any freelance designers. So just filling in the gaps, like from that seemingly minute level, baseline level, it's like the idea of compound interest. The idea compounds on itself.
Ooh, that's gorgeous. Ooh, compound interest. I'm going to repeat that for our audience. Yes. Maybe not as hard as we think. This is fabulous. What is the biggest thing people don't realize about the gloves they currently use?
So in the last month, me and my team have been engaged in quite a bit of research with the variations of gloves. People know a lot about latex and the allergies associated with that. And as a response to latex, the glove manufacturing industry came up with this synthetic rubber called nitrile. That's what you'll see mostly in your doctor's office. So it's hyperallergenic, super durable, very strong. However, it will take 200 years to break down in a landfill. And then in the United States, at least, the most prevalent glove, especially in the food industry, they're called vinyl gloves. Now, vinyl is PVC, it's fossil fuel based, it's plastic. And then in order to make these plastics pliable, they use plasticizers called phthalates. And now phthalates are incredibly toxic to the human endocrine hormonal system, which leads to diabetes type 2, infertility in both men and women. And what we also discovered is that breast milk retains these phthalates, and so high levels of phthalates are being found in babies now. The scariest thing, actually, was that these gloves are up to 51%, these plasticizers, these phthalates. So now me and my team are on a crusade to just be like, look, just don't use vinyl. You can use anything else. If you don't happen to have a latex allergy, use that. Use nitrile, find other alternatives. But vinyl is something that I feel like the industry should just be phasing out because it is so dangerous.
Wow. And food service professionals, which means they're touching our food. We're ingesting that even more. I didn't realize it was that much of a problem. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's huge. So many toxins we're not even aware of. We think, well, the glove just touched that. But what was the glove made of? Oh my gosh.
The irony, right, of something that is here to protect you actually not protecting you. And it's sitting right on your skin. So it's leaking in your skin. And then it's also leaking into the food. So, and I'm not the first person, like a quick Google search will reveal that people have been knowing for a while that vinyl gloves are incredibly toxic.
Time to do something about it.
Absolutely.
We talk a lot, don't we? Now let's take action. And that's something you and your company is doing already to make a difference. Wow. Can you also debunk some of the myths about eco-friendly products? What does it mean to you? What should we know? You've done a lot of research around this.
Yeah, I think the first perception is that eco-friendly products are more expensive. And I will say there is some truth to that. However, with a company like Glubbs, knowing that we are making a real effort to create a tier system. So the people who actually do use the most gloves, who consume the most, can buy at scale in bulk. And then we have tiers that will drastically increase the price. And then it's a win-win for both of us. So, and then also it's simply not true in some cases. Sometimes biodegradable options are the same, if not sometimes cheaper. So just, I would say don't dismiss without fact checking at first, because I've had a lot of conversations where it's just like, yeah, that's great, but price. It's like, yeah, well, we'll get there, but it's actually competitive if you order at scale with what you're using right now. In fact, we might even come in cheaper, which has also happened to me before. I'm just like, oh man, maybe I should have charged more.
Yes. Wait, maybe I'll examine my business model. Maybe I undersold that.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit, actually.
Something women do. I'm just saying I've never done that, of course.
Right.
Something we want to be aware of. And isn't there more than just the dollar? I get so tired of conversations, it's just the cost. But how about the cost to our health? And how about the cost to the food workers' health and the medical profession and our planet that we all live on? Folks, let's look at the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
To the very best of our ability. It's never just this, the dollars and cents or francs and euros and all of the things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think it's an opportunity to question. And, we're called to be accountable all the time. Like, do you really care? And, there is a part of me that understands like big corporations who want to be more sustainable and are also looking at their bottom line.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just about a matter of looking good. But for me, I'm willing to give you a pass on that. But, as long as your actions are actually making a difference, whether it's because it's completely altruistic or you actually want to, show your customers your environmental stewardship so they can buy from you more. As long as ultimately the action that you're taking is beneficial, then you're good with me.
I love that because the difference is being made regardless if it's our value system or not. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
We can all get there together, can't we?
Yeah, I think so. I do think so. And I wanted to just bring up a second misnomer about eco-friendly products is that the quality is not the same. A lot of people have concerns about, but does it, break down on you? Will the glove tear? The gloves are not indestructible, but they're as strong as your regular nitrile gloves. There's just a bio additive in the nitrile mixture that attracts microorganisms in a landfill setting, in an anaerobic setting. And in that regard, the quality level is exactly the same.
Thank you. Over the weekend, I went to see the film I Am Celine Dion.
Wonderful.
And to me, she's one of the finest singers in my lifetime. I saw her live in Vegas. Oh my gosh, that voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you may or may not know she has a dis-ease. And it's very serious. And we won't talk about that on this particular podcast. However, what she said was, I allowed my voice to conduct my life because my ego's not that big and I was having so much fun. And you can see when she performs, she loves to sing. She so loves to sing. She loves her fans. She's able to stand on that stage and receive that love and attention. So you come from show business. You have beautiful articulation and voicing. How did that help you pitching and presenting this product? Because you're such a great communicator.
Well, thank you, first of all, and shout out to Scott Miller, Shane and Jane Fujita at NYU.
NYU Theater Department for the boys.
Exactly. It's been everything. So remember at the beginning when you introduced me with the little blurb, and you mentioned that you don't want to exclude yourself because you perceive to not have the background in this idea that you have. That was actually a big breakthrough for me. I had read one sentence because I had been looking for an idea and I didn't know what in acting I could sell apart from my time, and that wasn't possible during the pandemic. This one line literally said, do not limit yourself to something that you might have had expertise, education, or experience with in the past. Open up your horizons. And as soon as I did that, there was this download for Glubbs, right? So with regards to executing it with the skills that I had, I would say the storytelling, I mean, that's brand, right? That is what all these companies spend so much money on, whether it's a visual brand, you know, a story, the story behind the brand, the people, and how they came to start and found their companies. This is why the podcast industry is blowing up. It's because of story. And that, off of that alone, I am building this company. Okay, maybe not off of that alone. I am also learning about chemical engineering and polymers and vinyl and PVC and things like that. But I think my strength initially was the story that I could tell behind this idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Because you're in Glubbs school and now you're taking us to Glubbs school. I think those of us who are business owners and entrepreneurs, it's the best journey ever because we grow and are forced to grow so much, to grow into who we are and our success defined by us, doing it our way. How did the name Glubbs, how was that born? Glubbs. So for our audience, Glubbs, the Glubbs, which I love. How was that born?
My dear friend who lives in London, I was having a conversation with her, trying to get her on board as my co-founder. She was not interested. And I knew that she was also the only person in the world that I would want to start a company with, that I would trust. But she stayed on the phone with me and gave me some pointers, just, you know, things, how to start, like how create a Google Doc and write down every single idea. And she was talking then about how her and her wife would, their behavior around Glubbs. So I said, their behavior around what? And she's like, oh, Glubbs. It's just the way we say Glubbs in our relationship. And I was like, thank you, Carolina. This is exactly why we needed to have this conversation, not for you to be my co-founder, but for you to give me my business name.
Oh. Was it said with a proper British accent? Was it Glubbs?
It sounded like that. I had to stop her. Like, it'd be like, what did you just say?
What did you just say?
So
that's how the name, I love that. Yes, she was to help you name your product and your company, not to be your co-founder. Oh, what impact do you want Glubbs to have in the world?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think that there is impact in a material breaking down 100 times faster on our Earth than in 200 years. It's not the most perfect solution, but at least it's making a dent. It's making the negative environmental impact less. And so that's the first thing. I think spreading awareness about vinyl gloves is also something that we hope to impact people with. And the positioning of our brand, it's Glubbs, right? It's fun, it's lighthearted. And for me, when I speak to people about sustainability, my intention is to make them feel good about what they're already doing. I'm not here, and Glubbs is not here to be the sustainability police. We want to uplift, ultimately. We want to do more harm than good, but we want to do more good than harm, the other way around.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes things come out backwards for me as well. Do more good than harm. Absolutely.
Do more good than harm. But we also want to uplift. We want our story to be engaging, our Instagram posts to be fun. I'm a fun, funny, uplifting person. So it's reflective of that. And so I was just speaking at the Green Sports Alliance Summit a few weeks ago, and I said, if I can just bring a little bit of levity to this very serious issue, I think more people will feel inclined to be to be a part of this journey of protecting our collective home, because that's what this earth is. It belongs to all of us. And to not listen to the stories that divide us around sustainability, because it doesn't make any sense. We can't be divided about our own, like our shared home. It's for us. So I think when you talk about impact, those pillars.
That's so gorgeous. I realized I didn't ask you to bring a glub and show us the pretty in colors. Do you happen to have a glub there with you?
I usually do. And in fact, I need it
only one with you in your bag at all times, do you? A pair?
Not today. Not today, Dr. Lillian. I was on my bicycle to the train station today, and I was thinking about just that. But at that time, it was a little too late to turn around. But you can check our Glubbs out at wear, as in put on, adorn, Glubbs.com, wearglubbs.com. You'll see many, many pictures.
Fabulous. And that gives our audience a reason to go take a look. So wearglubbs.com. And what is next for you? And what is next for Glubbs? And maybe right now that's one and the same. Would you tell us about that?
So what's next is actually that I'm coming out with a coffee table book called Sexy Sustainability, coming out next summer.
It's Sexy Sustainability.
Yeah.
We know sex sells. I love that title.
Exactly.
Keep talking.
You hit the nail on the head. I'm actually really, really happy. I think you and your audience might be the first test case to give me feedback about that, because it is about, look, sex sells. And what am I trying to sell to everyone? I'm trying to sell sustainability. And so it will be a compilation of my stories, my journey, some of which I've already shared here, and the journey of other people in the sustainability world, but with their own verticals, like the cooking chef industry, or the even the medical industry, the influencing industry. I think we all approach it like sex in different ways, right?
Probably. Very true. Yes, indeed.
Very differently, but it's still sustainability. So to celebrate everyone's effort and the way they're doing it, because there's just no one way.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. For folks who now want to purchase Glubbs, because we know there are folks in the audience who have been seeking a better glove product for their hospital, for their wellness centers, for their restaurant chain, how do we reach out to you? Give us 2 great ways to reach out to you.
Okay, the first way will be my email, and that's my direct email, which is fiki@wearglubbs.com. Fiki is Fiki at wearglubbs.com.
Wearglubbs.com, okay. And the second way?
LinkedIn. That is the second way. I am always on there. I think that's how we met, right?
That's how we met.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Would be the second best way to get in touch with me.
Fantastic. Well, folks, I got to meet this lady in New York City in person. Yes, we had built breakfast together at the Hilton Times Square, and she is now my friend. I am honored and pleased to call her my friend. This has been so incredible, learning about this, learning about your unique journey, honoring those creative prompts, your background, and where you're headed. It is a pleasure to learn from you today, to hear your story, and yes, you are making a difference.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Yeah, I remember our breakfast in Times Square, which sounds so... It just sounds so New York, right? But remember how there was construction and movement and lights. It was just such a perfect New York experience.
It was, because the hotel is being renovated right now. So perhaps, folks, maybe wait till the renovation's over. It's a bit of a thing. However, the breakfast buffet was delightful, and we had just too much fun.
Good.
To our audience, thanks for being here. Keep your eyes out for another Up-Level Your Communication podcast. And we'll say bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to share our show with the key leadership at your company and with your friends. If you know in your heart that you're ready to up-level your speaking, stage presence, and impact, visit milunafausch.com to schedule a complimentary call. You can also purchase my book and our podcast music, Strong Body.
Thank you for enjoying this content by Billionaires in Boxes. If you would like to be a guest or a host, be sure to get in contact with us at billionairesinboxes.com.